Welcome to MES College Maramballi e-learning.
Hi, welcome to my session on Management Accounting. Myself, Dr. Farzana S. Hussain, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, MES College, Maramballi. Today, I am going to take an important topic in Management Accounting, which is called the ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is an important tool of financial statement analysis. We all know that the most important financial statements are the income statement, the position statement, the statement of equity, and the statement of cash flow and the fund flow. Ratio analysis helps us to make important decisions based on quantitative information. It also helps us to analyze the efficiency and the financial performance of a business organization. Let me just bring you to a brief introduction of the session that I am going to take today. The objective of today's course is to understand the ratio analysis as a tool of financial statement analysis and to make the students able to analyze the liquidity, the solvency, and the financial position of a business enterprise. The target audience is semester 6 BCom program, and the intended learning outcome is that post the session the students will be able to gain the skill to analyze the liquidity, the solvency, and the profitability of a business organization.
Before moving to what is meant by ratio analysis, let me begin by stating what is meant by a ratio. Ratio is a simple arithmetic expression of the relationship of one number to another number. For example, 25 divided by 100. It can be represented as 0.25 or 25%. It is a ratio, 25% or 0.25. Let us move on to ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is one of the most powerful tools of financial statement analysis. It helps us to understand the financial performance and the financial position of an organization using the financial statements. It is a process of establishing and interpreting various ratios. We have a number of ratios which are based on liquidity or solvency or based on profitability. Also, we have other ratios as well, but my session today concentrate mostly on the liquidity and the solvency ratios. And ratio analysis helps thereby to analyze and interpret the financial statements and helps us in making decisions. What are the steps in ratio analysis? First step in ratio analysis is the selection of relevant data from financial statements. We know that there are mainly four financial statements. 1. The income statement. 2. The position statement. 3. The statement of equity. And 4. The statement of fund flow. So the first step is to take data which is relevant for our purpose from any of these financial statements. The second step is the calculation of appropriate ratios from the above data. As I have told you, there are a number of ratios meant for different purposes. We can choose from a broad number of ratios like the liquidity or the solvency or the profitability or the turnover ratios or the working capital ratios likewise. Thirdly, it helps us in comparison. The third step of ratio analysis is comparison. Comparison can be done with the ratio obtained during one period with a previous year. For example, you can compare the ratio obtained in 2019 versus the ratio obtained in 2018. Or comparison can be also made of a similar organization in the same industry, and we can make an interpretation of how well this particular business organization is going in comparison to other businesses in the same industry. And lastly, interpretation of ratios. Interpretation of ratio is pretty very important, and it is the most important part in ratio analysis, and it is because there are standards or what we call the rule of thumb with which we can we can compare the ratio that we obtain for our organization, and you can compare it with the standard, and let the public or let the stakeholders know how well our organization is doing in comparison to the standards already set. So these are the 4 steps in ratio analysis. Broadly speaking, ratio analysis, there are liquidity ratios, there are solvency ratios, and the profitability ratio. And my session of today's will mostly be on liquidity and solvency ratio, and we'll keep the profitability ratio for a subsequent class. Liquidity ratio, let me just take you back to the concept of liquidity. Liquidity is the ability of the concern to meet its current obligation as and when it becomes due. That is how safe or how far the organization can meet its short-term obligation is what is meant by liquidity. Solvency, on the other hand, refers to the ability of a concern to meet its long-term obligation, that is, payment of interest on the long-term borrowing and the payment of the principal amount. And profitability ratio is related to the profitability in relation to sale. First one is the liquidity ratio. There are 3 liquidity ratios. So all these ratios measure the short-term liquidity or the extent to which the organization can meet its short-term requirement, cash requirement. The first liquidity ratio is the current ratio. Current ratio is equal to current assets divided by current liabilities. To put it in short, I can tell you it is equal to CA divided by CL. The next liquidity ratio is the quick ratio. Quick ratio is equal to liquid assets divided by current liabilities. To put it in short, liquid asset, that is LA, divided by current liability, CL. You must be wondering what is the difference between current asset and liquid asset. Liquid asset is equal to current asset minus inventory and prepaid expenses. So liquid asset is same as a current asset except for inventory and prepaid expenses. It is because quick ratio is considered as a more rigorous test of liquidity than the current ratio. So liquid assets are those assets which can be converted into cash equivalent without loss of value and loss of time. In that sense, inventory cannot be considered as an asset that can be converted into cash equivalent without loss of value. And prepaid expenses also, it takes time. So we cannot consider liquid asset, we cannot consider inventory and prepaid expense to be a part of the liquid assets. Next, we have the absolute liquid ratio. By absolute liquid ratio, we mean it is equal to absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities, that is equal to cash plus marketable securities divided by current liabilities. It is a very rigorous test of liquidity than the previous 2 ratios of current and quick ratio. Now let us go to the rule of thumb for these ratio. The rule of thumb for current ratio is 2:1, which means that current assets twice as current liability is considered satisfactory. And the rule of thumb for quick ratio is 1:1, which means that a proportion of that is liquid asset equal to current liability is considered satisfactory for an organization. And in case of absolute liquid ratio, the rule of thumb or the standard is 1:2. That is absolute liquid, that is the ratio of absolute liquid ratio divided by current liability is equal to 1:2 is considered as satisfactory. Let us move on to the solvency ratio. Remember, solvency ratio is related to the capacity of the organization to make payment towards long-term debt. We have 2 important ratio in under solvency ratio, that is the debt equity ratio and the proprietary ratio. Debt equity ratio is equal to external equities divided by internal equities. By external equities, we mean all the outside borrowing, that is all the outside debt that can be long-term or short-term. And by internal equity, we means the shareholders fund, which means the equity share capital, the reserve fund, the profits, the capital reserves, etc. And to put it in short, it can be EE divided by IE. Then we have the proprietary ratio, that is shareholders fund divided by total asset. That is, proprietary ratio is the ratio of shareholders fund to total assets. Shareholders fund is same as internal equity. Then we have the profitability ratio, but as I told you, we'll keep it for our next session. We have the gross profitability ratio, the operating ratio, and the operating profit ratio, all of which relates profits to sale.
What is the utility of ratio analysis? It helps in decision making. It helps in decision making using quantitative information from the financial statements. It also helps in financial forecasting and planning. It helps in communicating the important information about the performance of the business organization to outsiders or to the stakeholders. It helps us to exercise control because we have standards or the rule of thumb in ratio analysis. It is very useful to the shareholders, to the creditors, to the employees, and to the government in the way of supplying very important information about the financial position of the organization. Sometimes it also becomes important for tax audit requirement.
Let me now quickly take you to a question based on ratio analysis. Here we have a question. The comparative balance sheet of a limited company are given below, that is for the year 2007 and 2008. We have the liability side and the asset side. In the asset side, we have the goodwill, the land and building, the plant and machinery, the patents, which all represent the fixed assets. Then we have the current assets, the stock, the sundry debtors, the bills receivable, the marketable securities, the cash balance and prepaid expenses. And we have the figures for 2 years. Same is the case regarding liability. We have the shareholders fund firstly given, equity share capital and the reserve fund. And then we have the 8% debentures, that is from here onwards we have the outside funds, mortgage loans, sundry creditors, bills payable, other liabilities like the bank overdraft, outstanding expenses and tax liabilities, which are also given for 2 years. To solve the question, let me just take you to an Excel sheet. On the right side, you can see that I've pasted the question over here and I have marked the various items in the balance sheet. You can see that I have marked the current assets in red, the stock, the sundry debtors, the bills receivable, the marketable securities, the cash balance and the prepaid expenses are marked in red. The sum of these values, 1,50,000 plus 1 lakh plus 80,000 plus 18,000 plus 40,000 plus 2,000 will give you the value of current asset. You have the current liabilities marked in red in the liability side, starting from sundry creditors 50,000, bills payable 25,000, bank overdraft 40,000, outstanding expenses 10,000 and tax liabilities 15,000. So let me begin with the current ratio, 2007 liquidity ratio. The first one is current ratio. We know the formula is current assets divided by current liabilities. Already told you the current assets are marked in red. The sum of these amounts is 3,90,000 divided by current liability. The total of these ones marked in red color in the liability side represents the total of current liabilities, that is 1,40,000. 3,90,000 divided by 1,40,000 is equal to 2.785. This is the current ratio in the year 2007, and we know that the rule of thumb for the current ratio is 2:1, and the ratio that we obtained here is 2.785, which is pretty above the standard or the rule of thumb, and we can say that in 2007 the liquidity position is satisfactory. Next, let me tell you how to calculate the quick ratio. Quick ratio is equal to liquid assets divided by current liability. Remember, I told you liquid asset is the same as current asset except for stock and prepaid expenses. You can see that I've marked it in green color. If you just avoid from the current assets the stock and the prepaid expenses, you can see the block which is marked in green color. The total of these will give you the liquid assets of the organization in 2007. So that comes to 2,38,000, and current liability is the same, 2,38,000. that is 1,40,000. So quick ratio is equal to liquid assets divided by current liability, 2,38,000 divided by 1,40,000, that is 1.7. And we have already learned the rule of thumb for quick ratio is 1:1, and we can see that in this question it is above the rule of thumb 1:1. We have got the ratio as 1.7, which is also satisfactory. So this in the year 2007 it has passed the minimum required standard in terms of short-term liquidity while we look at quick ratio of this organization. Then we have a very rigorous test of absolute liquid ratio, which is absolute liquid assets divided by current liabilities. By absolute liquid asset we mean the cash plus marketable securities. See, we have marketable securities 18,000 and we have the cash balance 40,000. See, so 18,000 plus 40,000 divided by 1,40,000 is equal to 0.414. So that is as regards absolute liquid ratio 0.414 in the year 2007, and we can also compare it with the standards, that is 1:2. Then we have the solvency ratio, that is debt equity ratio and the proprietary ratio. Debt equity ratio is equal to external equity divided by internal equity. By external equity we mean all the long-term debts. It begins from 8% debentures. 8% debentures, 2,40,000, mortgage loan 4 lakh, sundry creditors 50,000, bills payable 25,000, bank overdraft 40,000, outstanding expenses 10,000, and tax liabilities 15,000, which is marked in a violet color. You can see that the total of external equities is 7,40,000 divided by internal equity, I have marked in blue color, which is the equity share capital and reserve fund. The sum of 3 lakh and 1,50,000, that is 4,50,000. So the debt equity ratio 7,40,000 divided by 4,50,000 is equal to 1.64. As regards debt equity ratio, we do not really have a rule of thumb, but it depends on the type of organization as to how we'll compare with the standard. Then proprietary ratio is shareholders fund divided by total asset. Shareholders fund is same as internal equity, that is 4,50,000 divided by total assets. You can see that I marked in yellow color 11,90,000. So 4,50,000 divided by 11,90,000 is equal to 0.38. For the proprietary ratio, there is not a universally accepted rule of thumb, but it depends on the organization, on the nature of the business that the organization is doing as regards standards. So this is about the liquidity ratio and the solvency ratio, and I hope with this you have understood the calculation of the liquidity ratio and the solvency ratio, and you will be able to do make the calculation for the year 2008, the ratios of liquidity and solvency.
I hope by solving this problem you must have understood how to analyze the liquidity and solvency position of a business organization using ratio analysis. Thank you for patient listening.